Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's live. And I hope everybody can hear us okay. I'm just checking my monitor to see if we can. What are you looking at?
No, I'm thinking that's okay.
It should be okay.
Are you okay?
Yep, it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine. We are okay. Okay, so everybody, I take it you can hear us and you can see us. I have this tendency not to turn the microphone, take the mute off, but I did it today. I remember. I write notes to remember. So, who have we got joining us today? We've got Jean is here, and Donna and Judy. You're welcome, Judy. I'm glad you had a good time yesterday on the bash. We're going to talk a little bit about that today as well. Heather's here. Hello, Heather. Charlotte. Kim from Nova Scotia. Maria, I should say. And Philippa's here. Hello, Philippa. All the way from down under. And Shannon is here. Shannon, I love the bag you made today on your brunch. That was really a great design. And it turned out really nice. Not that fond of pink with Pokemon, but I know why you were doing it. So it's fine. Doesn't matter. Barb is here. Hi, Barb. And Jan is here. Hi, Jan. We missed you at the bash. Karen is here. Karen Cox. And everybody's saying hello to everybody. And Andy's here. Hi, Andy. It was great seeing you yesterday too, Andy, on the bash. Even though you are not a sewer or a quilter, but that's the one thing about this channel. It's open to crafters of any kind as well. Susan is here. Hi, Susan. And Benita. Did I say hi to Karen B? I don't think I did. Cynthia Maria Field is here. And she had a good time yesterday too. That's great. It's sunny in Australia. Good. Keep it there for the next few months, okay? So we get there for that. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if those links are going to work that Nightbot just came up because... Oh, no, they won't. So ignore Nightbot with the links to everybody. I haven't got that set up properly yet. I forgot all about it until now. If Russ is here, he would tell me about that. Deb is here. Mozilla. Debbie Horton. And Sue Norfleet is here. Retracted her messages many times over. Okay, I don't know what Sue's saying today, but she thought twice about it. Hello, Sue. I don't know what else you were typing, but anyways. Okay, so lots of people here today. That's great. I hate to say it, but we are going to talk about the Super Bowl, maybe. But it's not going to be what most of you want to hear because I know, which I find very unusual, a lot of you guys are into the football. We are not. So, my channel, we're not doing it. Whatever. But, yeah, who else just came in? Patsy came in from Mississippi, and Diana is here. Philippa says, so much fun at the bash. Thank you. I've nearly finished the borders. Love the pattern. Great. I am working on my second pattern, but more about that, too. Sue says, weird typos. We are not weird typos. Tracy's here.
Yourself.
Oh, yeah, really. Jeff's here. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, nice to see that you made a live, Jeff. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what Walter and I have been up to.
Okay, I have a sinus infection, so if I sneeze.
Yeah, well, if he sneezes, he'll knock out our internet. Okay, Rosemary's here as well. She has no voice right now. Well, that's okay, Rosemary, because we can't hear you. This is not a Zoom live. This is a YouTube live, and so we only can see what you type in, and you can only see us. We can't see you, and we can't hear you either, so not a problem. You can rest your voice. Shirley's here from California. Deb says she doesn't know diddly about football. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way and don't care to learn. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not really a follower either, so.
I find it boring. I mean, maybe if you're actually at a game, but I don't know. It seems like there's a whole lot of 3 seconds of guys running into each other, and then a good 2 minutes before they start again doing it. It seems to be the longest game I've ever seen. There's only
Well,
one thing.
besides golf.
Well, I was going to say only one thing that's worse than football, I think, is golf. I mean, I'd rather watch paint dry. At least you knew something was happening.
I don't know who this Taylor Swift is, but he sounds fast.
Yeah, who said that?
Katie Krause.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like that's the other thing that's attracting everybody to the Super Bowl is the fact that Taylor Swift's there watching her boyfriend who's a football player. And I saw a picture of him for the first time that I had seen it the other day on TV. He's not long out of the trees. His knuckles drag on the ground, really.
Well, isn't that what most football players
Yeah,
are like?
but that's okay. A gorilla with a dumb blonde, because I don't like Taylor Swift either. I mean, I don't mind her music, but she is a personality. Don't get me started on her. She is a bitch royal, for sure. Sorry if some of you are real Taylor Swifties. Okay, the only Swiftie I know is the one I used to mop up my floor with. Candace is here. Hi, Candace and Kim. And Russ is here. Hi, Russ. And Marilyn. Wait, what? Guys, you running into each other? That sounds inappropriate. I approve. Guys running into... Oh, well, Walter was saying the other day, there's an awful lot that football players have in common with drag queens. I mean, we all enjoy a great show where they drag bodies around on the ground. Drag queens are on a runway dragging around. Tight ends in football. Yes, please. And then let's just talk about what they're doing with their junk. We know what drag queens do with theirs. I have a feeling football players do the same thing. They're doing something to protect it all. So I don't know. I think, and everybody's playing with balls. So yeah, there's a lot in common there. Benita says, I just heard online that out of 60 minutes of football, there's actually only 18 minutes of playing. The rest is commercials and talking, etc. Yeah, I'd believe that, Benita. Suzanne's here. Hi, Suzanne. And Kathy is here. And Judy says, I'm dying laughing. Totally agree with you. Well, don't die on us, because that's really not what we're here for. So let's start with what we've been working on. And Walter has something to show you. So I'll let him go first.
I was finishing up a shirt yesterday, but I still have buttons to put on and a pocket.
And are you going to show it?
But the rest of the shirt's done, so...
It's my Australian shirt that he's making. And here it is.
It's full of
parrots. Parrots.
Yellow
maybe
parrots.
Possibly even a cockatoo. A cockatoo.
Two cans.
Two cans. Two cans.
Yeah, 2 cans and parrots.
2 cans. What about a 1 can?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll look good. I'll look great in it. So yeah. I think that'll be the shirt I will wear when we meet up with my nephew. Just to show him that we old farts
aren't. The marijuana shirt on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you wear the marijuana shirt, too. Yeah. Whatever. But, yeah. So, Walter's been working on that. And, hi, Sherry.
Actually, I have some marijuana fabric that's more sedate.
Oh.
That I should make a shirt out of.
Well, I found some the other day, too. But
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough for shirts in it. Actually, I have one big piece that's there that might be. Deb says, played league baseball, enjoyed golfing, just don't like watching because I'd rather play. And
yeah, I imagine it's more interesting if you play it.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
But not football.
I never liked it. I never liked it in high school either.
No, I played anti-football. Football came near me. I went the other end of the field. Don't throw it to me. Don't throw it to me. I'm looking for 4-leaf clovers out here. Go away. Charlotte loves it. And Barb loves it. Yep, they probably will, Barb. And that's the whole point, really. So people are loving the shirt. Okay, so this is what I've been working on. It's in pieces. It's an in the hoop table runner. I'm making this for my nephew in Australia. So right now I have all the all the pieces stitched out. I now have to put them all together. So that's why you see like piece of a moose and piece of an owl and piece of a bear and that kind of thing. Actually, the bear, the moose, and the owl, I'd already had stitched out earlier this week, and they were too small because for some reason I picked the wrong file. And well, they said that they had, for ease, they had taken those files and combined them into one. So I assumed they were the right size, but no, they weren't. They were for a smaller one. So I had to redo those today. So those pieces are all done, and I'll get it all sewn up sometime this next coming week. And maybe by this time next week, I'll be able to show you what the whole thing looks like when it's all put.
And that's all done on your embroidery
Yep,
machine,
it's
right?
all, this is called In the Hoop Applique, which we will be starting to discuss in session 4. When we start talking about projects and things like that, and then we'll be showing you some of the projects and how you do them as well, the different types on embroidery machine. That's on So Chatty. So if you've been following us with that, you'll know that that's what we're coming up to next. Okay, so let's flip this over, and people are saying, like the table runner? Yeah, great, thank you. Cynthia says, love it. Does Walter have YouTube videos on sewing?
Nope.
No, he doesn't. He's been asked before to make them, and what's your answer to that?
There's lots of other videos on there on shirt making that you can look at that are probably a lot better than me.
Well, not necessarily in quality of work, but I can tell you this. Walter would not be really a great teacher.
Excuse me.
Are you going to blow up snot again? There I was walking off. No, Walter would not be the world's most patient teacher with somebody. You know, like I get him to show, I try to show him something. He slaps my hands and go away. No, go away. I can do it. Or whatever. So, yeah, I don't think he'd make a really great online teacher. Can do the work, but I don't know about explaining it. Okay, so let's talk about what's coming up. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen Wednesday. There's a whole bunch of things coming up this week. Okay, so we have Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on Wednesdays starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. It's an all-day affair. Come and go as you please. All are welcome. Link for that is always in the show notes to all of my videos, so feel free. And remember, it's Eastern Time. Okay, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, though, on this Wednesday coming up, which is Valentine's Day, yeah, bah humbug, at 7 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Time again, we have our next monthly live called The Social Review. And social is spelled SEWCIAL. It's a play on words. Well, actually, Walter came up with the word, with the name for it. Yeah, because the other names we were coming up with, other people already do. So Walter did what Walter does best, scours the internet, and came up with this. So that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we've done one already. We're going to do this once a month, the second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. in the evening. This month, the Social Review is on Stephanie's channel, Stephanie Stitches. There's a link to her channel down in my show notes as well for that. And it's Stephanie and Shannon of Slay Arts and Russ of Quilt Meets World and Walter and myself, the 5 of us. And the topic we have this month is we're going to talk about quilts that mean something to us that we have created. So we're having a bit of a trunk show. And we'll talk about other things as well. We started this back when we were at the retreat in Georgia at Christmas time, or New Year's time, I guess it was. And we really liked our dynamic of the 5 of us all being together and doing a live. And I said to everybody, I suggested, why don't we carry this on once a month kind of a thing? So we're going to switch whose channel it's on each month. Last month it was on my channel to start it off. This month on Stephanie's. And next month I believe we will have it on Russ. Next month we haven't decided on that yet. I've got to talk to the guys about, or to the group about that, because the second, no, I guess we will be here. Or will we? The second Wednesday of March, we'll still be here. We won't have gone to Australia yet.
No, not yet.
Not the second Tuesday. No, but it'll be the second Tuesday in April. That's the one that we've got to discuss yet because we won't be here for it.
Wednesday, you mean?
Or second Wednesday. Yeah. Am I saying Tuesday?
Yeah, you said
Wednesday. Wednesday. It's the second Wednesday. Okay. Get it right. I'll have another drink in a
I
minute.
doubt we'll be here because
No, we won't be back by then.
No.
For that. But anyways, the one in March will be on Russ's channel, and we haven't come up with what our topic is going to be yet. We will. And then the one after that will be on Shannon's, and then we'll just repeat the whole cycle. Unless we decide we don't want to do this anymore. So Walter's looking up.
No, I was just looking up the dates.
No,
here.
we're definitely, because we're not back till the 18th of April, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so we won't be here for the second Wednesday in April. But anyways, hope you can tune in. I mean, maybe you've got plans for Valentine's Day. We don't. This is our plans for Valentine's Day. On March the 1st, now, everybody knows, of course, that I hit over 10,000. Shannon is very close to 1,000. Russ is very close to 1,000. That's what their goals are. So if you have not subscribed to them, please do. That will help them out. And their channel links are in my show notes below. But Stephanie hit a major milestone. Major, major, major. She's over 20,000. And so we're getting together with Stephanie for a live on March the 1st. Stephanie has already announced that. And I forget what time we're getting together. It might be 7 o'clock. I have to check that. But anyways, Stephanie will have that up and post it anyways. And it'll, of course, be on her channel. And I think March the 1st is actually a Friday. And I think it's a Friday night we're doing it. Yeah, we are. If it's Friday night, that's when we're doing it. So, yeah, so stay tuned for more information about that as well, because that's coming up pretty soon. And it should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Any other special things coming up? Yes. Pop-up sew day. I am having a pop-up sew day in 2 weeks' time on the Saturday. So, be 2 weeks from yesterday. That's February the 24th, I believe. I have not posted the link for that. That is a Zoom event. It is not a YouTube live. All are welcome to come to that. Anybody who wants to. It's very relaxed. It's, you know, there aren't any prizes. Sorry. That Bash was a special event for that. But many of you have been to the pop-up sew days before, and it's just where we get together and do what it says. Sew, quilt, talk, chat, show things, whatever. So that will be Saturday, starting Saturday the 24th of February, starting at 8 a.m. You don't have to be there at 8 a.m. You can come and go as you please. Okay. With that, there's nothing. You don't have to let me know whether you're coming or not. There's no reserved spots or anything like that. We don't usually have more people than I can handle on a Zoom license for it. I think our last one was maybe a new record, and I think at the height of it we had about 44, something like that. And people come and go throughout the day. So yeah, it's lots of fun. So hope to see you there.
Yeah, Stephanie confirmed that it was 7 p.m. on the 1st.
Oh, okay, great. So yeah. Anything else up here that I'm just catching up on? Oh, Loane is here. Hi, Loane. Oh, Patsy said, love the table runner. I ordered and received another trimmer by George, and it is bent. Can't believe it wasn't broken. Wow. Because that sucker is pretty tough on it. So, holy crap. What the heck were they doing with that? Did you get the 3.0 one? I think that's the latest version of it. I haven't seen that around yet to decide whether or not I want to get that, because I don't know if it's just overkill. I love my George Trimmer 2.0. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we probably will show this on So Chatty when we get to doing projects, but it is a handy little tool to to do. Can you carry on here?
Oh,
If it doesn't work, please give him a call. Okay, that's something that's a family matter, and I'll deal with that later. It's not bad news. I don't know what it is, but somebody's trying to get my telephone number. Actually, it's my dad's first cousin. Anyway, so I don't know what that's all about. Anyways, back on track here, squirrel. I'm just catching up here. Okay. I think we've got everything up to date.
Michelle Lee said
Oh.
she's just heard about us from Stephanie's channel, so wanted to come.
Oh,
Welcome.
newbie. Welcome. Well, Michelle, you are more than welcome to be here. Okay, so I bought some new toys, which I'm not showing you today. I will be showing probably on, well, I'll show at least one of them on the Idiot Quilter. Got a little desktop vacuum cleaner from Amazon, and it works like a charm. In fact, it works so well. Walter bought one. It sucks. It's actually really cool. And I'll be talking about that on the Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and I'll show it to you then and show you a little demo with this thing. But it's really cool. And then I made a big purchase. I've been thinking about this for a while, and then I watched a video on YouTube from a guy that I watch on a regular basis and trust his opinion on things. So I bought another 3D printer. And you're all going to go, how many 3D printers? 3. This new one will be 4. So why did I buy another one? Because this one runs faster, has automatic leveling, same brand, just a more sophisticated machine than the ones that I have right now. So I already cleared a spot for it because it's supposed to come tomorrow. Not sure.
It's supposed to be easier to put together, too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Well, I know how to put the other ones together, so I don't think this one will be that much more difficult. But I'm kind of looking forward to this. And, you know, if one 3D printer is good, 2 are better, 3 are great, 4 is not overkill. Do I have a sweatshop? Yes, I do. Yep, I just want your small children that I can have here working on things, and I'll throw them a bowl of gruel every now and then. So more about that when it comes. And
oh, Patsy says they're under tornado watch.
Ooh, not good, not good.
She said she did get a 3.0.
Yeah, I had the old one, the 2. I have a claim with Postal Service. Sure hope they pay for it. Yeah, because those aren't particularly cheap either. Hi, Elsa. And Patsy's under tornado watch. Well, hopefully it's just a watch and nothing else happens with it. Okay, so talked about that. Oh, I also bought a lot of fabric at a new place that I know nothing about. It's in not far from me, actually. It's here in Ontario. It's about an hour and a half's drive away from me, a little town to the east. And it's not an actual store. It's an online presence. But on Tuesday, you will hear all about that. It's called Rhonda's Quilt Creations. She works out of her house. Fantastic selection of fabrics. Fantastic price on fabrics as well. And the customer service is really great and speedy. I ordered fabrics from her on Tuesday. I got them on Thursday.
Where did you say she was located?
Brighton.
Brighton. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Bonita's asking about you saying squirrel.
Yeah, I said squirrel. Oh, you don't know that? Have you ever seen, I think, was it from the movie Up?
Yeah, I believe it's Up.
Where the old guy, you know, it's sort of an animated movie. The old guy has a house and he attaches all these balloons on it to float away, and he has a dog. And the dog has a collar that he can talk. Like you can hear what he's saying when he barks. But he gets going along at something and suddenly he goes, squirrel! And he's mesmerized by the squirrel. So we use that term, and actually people who've been on my videos before or whatever know exactly what we're talking about, because it's basically...
It's a sudden distraction.
Sudden distraction. Squirrel, you know, like when you lose it. So, yeah, that's what it means. Russ says the first 15 minutes of Up is guaranteed to make you cry. Yeah, it is kind of a sad story. The guy lost his wife and everything in it, and yeah, it's a good movie, a very good movie. I've seen it a couple of times. Deborah's here. Hi, Deborah, from Quebec. First time participation on live. Well, welcome, Deborah. We've got lots of first timers on here, so it's nice to see you all. Although after I'm finished with what I'm about to talk to about next, you may all be dropping me like a hot potato. And what am I going to talk about? The bash, the 10,000 subscriber bash that I had yesterday. We had a good time. We had everybody, pretty much everybody that had signed up for it were there. We'll come to that one in a minute. Everybody was
There was what, 80,
88.
88.
I think 88 we ended at the height of it was
Yeah.
about 88, 87, 88. I was busy, so was Walter, as Walter was helping me moderate things, but there were prizes and it was a good time. I actually got some work done too, some sewing done as well. I don't usually own one of those kind of things because I'm too busy looking at all my computer screens because I had 4 of them. Yeah, I know, overkill. I don't do anything in little amounts. Everything's extreme for me. But I think everybody had a really good time. We got to see a lot of wonderful creations, and some people were actually working on my pattern, which anybody who attended the bash got a free copy of the pattern, and you can too now. I have it now released. It's absolutely free. It's called When Stars Collide. I've shown it on here before, but there is now a link in the show notes below that goes to my Google Drive, and you can click on that, and you have to be somewhere.
No.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go on, click on the link, and download it. It's in PDF format, and I don't think there's any errors in the pattern because I asked people that were working on it, if there was something that was confusing or whatever. The biggest, complaint I heard was, oh my God, there's so many half square triangles. Not as many as in some patterns I have bought and done myself from other manufacturers. But yes, if you are not a fan of half square triangles, you might not like the pattern. But there's some fantastic looking products people were doing. The color choices people made and everything were really great. So that made me very happy. So happy. Guess what I'm doing right now? I'm working on my second pattern. It will involve half square triangles, possibly flying geese. Just telling you now. When I'll have that done, I don't know. It'll be a while. Now, how long is this pattern going to be available? 1 week, 1 week only. Okay? So if you want this pattern, go to the link below because next week will be the deadline. Next Sunday on the live, that will be the last day that you'll be able to get it. Am I going to sell it? No, I am not. I do not have the facility to sell it right now. Maybe, who knows, maybe down the road I will have a facility like that, but I don't right now. But it's free for you for the next week. So if you want it, get it. Okay, so as I said, we had a really good time, at the retreat now, or not the retreat, at the bash. I'm going to talk a little bit, and I'm going to get serious right now. And I am preaching to the choir. I know that. But, I had people reserve spots for the bash. Now, why did I do that? I did that because I can only handle, at the most, about 95 or 96 people. Because my license on Zoom that I pay for monthly only allows a maximum of 100 people. And I had to keep 5 spots aside for Walter and myself for our equipment with that. So basically people signed up on a first come, first serve basis. I registered you. That meant I reserved your spot for you. Now I couldn't establish really a waiting list with this, and I had more people than I could accommodate for it. So some people, tried to get registered and spots went very fast. There were about 5 people who were no-shows. They didn't show up. They didn't contact me to let me know that something had changed in their plans and that they wouldn't be there. Because if I had known in advance, some of those people that I knew wanted to be in there, I had their email addresses. I could have emailed them and said, hey, I've got a spot if you're still interested. But because these people didn't show up and because their spot was reserved for them, I couldn't offer that. Okay, I am sure there are reasons why they didn't show up. And in their mind, those are probably very legitimate reasons. But in my mind, from my end of it, I think it's just plain rude and inconsiderate. They filled up a spot that could have gone to somebody else. They could have contacted me.
In fact, you had one person contact you and said that they were concerned that they wouldn't be able to stay the whole day.
Yes. Yeah, one said that, and I said, it's okay. Your spot is reserved for you. You use it the way you want to. I had one person, though, and I felt really bad for her. She said, I don't think I'm going to make it. Her husband got very, very sick.
That was on the day of, right?
No, it wasn't on the day of. It was the day before.
Oh, okay.
With it. And she sent me an email. And this happened very suddenly, and her husband was having seizures. And of course, she didn't know what was going to happen. She was going off to the hospital. He was in the hospital, the whole bit. Well, but she took the time. Like, I mean, I would think that, to me, if she had written me after the fact and said, I'm so sorry I missed it, but this is what happened, I would understand that, because that is something that was out of her control, and I'm sure she was under a great deal of stress, to say the least, over
so
all
I'm
of that.
quite surprised that she even contacted
I
you.
know. And she contacted me to let me know, and I wrote back and says, I'm so sorry to hear about what's happening with your husband, and you don't worry about it. Thank you for letting me know, but you know, you have bigger things to worry about right now. So in my way of thinking, that is somebody who went beyond and took responsibility and accountability, you know. And I would have understood if like a week later she wrote to me and said this had happened in the whole bit. But you know, that says something a lot about that individual's personality, integrity, level of integrity and accountability and the whole bit. And I very much appreciated that she had done that, given the situation she was in. But the other ones did not. And I haven't heard from them at all yet. That's just plain rude. You know, I put a lot of work into anything that I do when it comes to for my subscribers. I planned the bash out. It is not something, it's a free event. It is not free for us. We gave out Amazon gift certificates. Those cost us money. Okay? Especially the ones that were Americans that won them. It cost even more. Okay, got to keep my hands down. The thing wants to put my thumbs up. But I'm not complaining about that, because I like doing it. It makes for a little more fun on the day of the event. I don't do that on pop-up sew days, but pop-up sew days are a different type of event. They're much more casual, informal. There aren't any prizes or anything like that. But having said that, when my retreat, I run two virtual retreats that people have to register for in a year. One in the spring, one in the fall. The spring one is coming up on May the 4th. It's an all-day event. It is absolutely free. But what's different about that event is not only are there prizes, but I have guest speakers. I can't afford to pay the guest speakers, and they do it out of the goodness of their heart. They basically know they're not going to get paid. All I can offer them is my eternal gratitude for what they have done. But they take time to plan it. And so it would behoove me not to have a decent audience for them when they do those kind of things for me. So when somebody says they're going to take a spot, I trust that they are going to fill that spot. But with the retreat, I have another step to that. I do establish a waiting list. Once it fills up, then anybody who wants to get into it become part of the waiting list. If someone lets me know in advance that suddenly something has changed in their schedule and they can't make the retreat, I go, okay, thank you for letting me know. I immediately take the first person on the waiting list and give them a spot. Because of what I just said. There are guest speakers in that. I want to have a full house for those speakers because they put a lot of effort into what they're doing. So that's how that works. But the bash is kind of in between a pop-up sew day and a retreat. It's a little bit less formal. There were prizes. And of course, I had to have people reserve spots because I was really afraid that I would have way too many people, and what was I going to do? But I didn't establish a waiting list because that takes more time and effort. What people don't understand is the paperwork. When someone registers, I have their name, their email address down on my list. I keep records of everything. I'm trying to make what I do seem seamless to the people participating in it. The behind the scenes is a little bit more hectic than that, but it's the nature of the beast, and it's my nature to be organized about things because I believe if the coordinator, the moderator, the organizer of an event is not organized, then it's a horrible time for everybody, and that I don't want. So these people who I've heard nothing from them. One person did contact me, but that's only because I sort of called them out. And the excuse I was given, although it was an interesting excuse, they could have still have sent me an email the day of, even, because that suddenly they didn't think these things were going to happen to them. So I'm not pleased with those people. Now, when I'm not pleased with people on something like this, I have a blacklist. I'll be honest. You might think I'm a horrible individual because I do this, but I do have a list of people who have left me high and dry, who have never made any effort to contact me to explain why they didn't come. And then I reserve judgment on what they tell me because I was a school teacher, and when kids didn't hand in assignments when they were due, I heard every excuse in the book, and adults aren't any different in some cases. So I am a bit skeptical. And those people don't get invited to any future events, basically. That's the blacklist. So if they apply to come to one of my retreats or something like that, or to register for it, nope, sorry, you don't get in. Because I can't trust you. That's what it is. It's a question of trust. You know, I took your word on good faith that you were going to be at this spot, and you didn't show up, and you didn't bother to reach out to me to tell me about it or anything like that. So, yeah, so they're blacklisted.
It's like having a dinner invite and you show up at their place and nobody's home.
Yeah. Yeah. And it hurts me because it suggests to me that you feel that because it's free, because I don't charge anything for it, that it's okay. If something better comes along at the last minute and you want to go to that, you'll go to that. It also says to me you're not the kind of person I can trust because you can't make a commitment. That's what it says to me. Whether that's the truth or not, well, to me, it is the truth. That is the truth. So I don't trust you if that's the kind of thing you are. So I want to explain that to you because in a couple of months, all the information will go out about the spring retreat and everything like that. So if you register for the retreat, you are creating a contract with me, a contract of trust. It means that I will guarantee that you will have a spot and that I'll look after you for it. But if you're in doubt whether or not this is going to work for you or whatever, because of whatever else happens in your life or whatever, then maybe you don't want to register. Now, I'll say more about those kind of things, registering and everything, and how that all works when we get closer to the date. Right now, we're a ways from it, and I'm not going to be doing any set up for that until after we come back from Australia in April. So yeah, but I thought you should know. Like I said, I'm preaching to the choir right here. So now that I've had my little rant, let's move back and see what people are saying and if some new people came in. Here we go. Oh, Barb's here. Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. Yep, working on my next pattern, Shannon. Not sure how it's going to go, but we'll see. Oh, Michelle downloaded the first pattern. That's great. Benita said, I got so much done yesterday. So fun. The only thing to make it better would be if I had won a door prize. Well, can't have one for everybody. Sorry about that. That would definitely put me in the poorhouse. Yeah, well, you will see it, Stephanie, before anybody else sees it because I'm going to need an editor, someone to review it for me. But it's going to take me a while. Pam's Handmade is here. Jeannie is here. Everybody seemed to like the pattern. That's great. Just trying to catch up. Michelle says, I agree. As a school teacher, you hear every excuse and adults are no different, but that is where the kids learn to make those excuses. You're right on the money with that one, Michelle. Yeah. Angel's here. Hi, Angel. Just popping in to say congrats on the 10K. See you all later. Here's to what the next 10 bring. Marianne's here. Loane says, I would have loved to attend, but being on the West Coast, I knew I would miss a lot of it, so best to let someone closer go. Yeah, that's the one problem with time zones, you know. Because anybody, you know, if you're out in the West Coast, you're 3 hours behind us here. So, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning start time means 5 o'clock for you. And then, you know, depending on how early a riser you are, you know, you're right. Part of the day is gone. Hi, Denise. And Sandy's here. Hi, Sandy. Good manners never go out of style. Sorry that people are so inconsiderate. I had a good day yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, well, they are. And, you know, I could sit back here and not have said a word about that, but I really feel that I need to say something about it. The only thing I'm drawing a line on is I'm not going to tell you who they were, what their names are. I would love to. I'll be very honest. I would love to call them out, but no, that would be not nice at all. That would be horrible. So not going to do that. Okay, so that's what I want to say about the bash. But overall, I think the bash was very successful. Okay. What did you think about the bash?
It was good.
Oh, high praise from Walter. He's not feeling well, people.
No, I feel fine other than my sinuses are a bit plugged up, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I got up early for it.
Well,
not right at the moment.
No, you weren't, but yeah, you were up early for it. And by the way, for those of you that finished my pattern and that, if you want to send me a picture of it when it's done, I'll collect them together and maybe do a little, you know, trunk show of those quilts down the road as well. So, because that would be fun to see what other people have picked for colors and how it worked out for you. Katie Kraft says, I never said my dog ate my homework, but one time my cat did. Had the ring paper with me. Teacher laughed. Yeah. Yeah, I remember years ago I had one where a kid said his dog peed on his homework, and he brought it in to show it to me. I still think that was just an excuse.
Maybe he peed on it.
I have a feeling. Yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't put it past it, that particular kid at the time. So I was a victim of ageism. If you saw the short that I did earlier in the week, thought I would talk a little bit more about that.
I don't know if it was necessarily ageism or just she was being a
bitch. Well, we went into Wendy's. We usually go through the drive-through. Actually, if we have anything from Wendy's, oftentimes Walter goes up to Wendy's if we have coupons. Because, I mean, you got to take out a small bank loan anymore to order anything that's in a fast food place, you know. Have you noticed that?
I mean, it's sometimes cheaper to go to the restaurant than it is to go to the fast food place.
Yeah. So anyways, we decided, because we were going to go over to Costco, and the Wendy's is close to where the Costco is. So we thought, well, we'll do something different. We'll go in and order at the counter. So we did. And I was getting, when they were getting the food ready and everything, I went over to the, serving area where you have your napkins, your straws, and your condiments.
Yeah, you have to do your own self-serve these days, because they'll give you your hamburger and fries, but they won't give you, they give you a cup for drinks, so then you have to go to the pop machine to get your own drink. And
yeah. So anyways, they had ketchup, but not in little packages. They had them in big drums with a pump on them. So big deal. You get one of those little cups things. So I took a little cup and I'm pumping on it. Nothing's coming out. So I'm figuring, okay, this one's empty, but there was a second one. So I went to it and I pumped it and nothing came out. So I said to the lady at the counter, this was not a teenager either, by the way. This was a woman that probably has children of her own or whatever. She looked like she was probably in her 40s. I don't know. So I'm not dealing here with a student. I'm dealing with an adult. And I said to her, I said, I'm sorry. I said, but the ketchup, I think the ketchup things are empty. And she looked at me and she says, you have to pump it. I looked at her and I said, yeah, I know that. And that's what I did. I pumped it. Right. Well, you have to pump it. And I said, I think they're empty. But I said, okay, I'll try again. I go over, I pumped it really hard. Nothing, not even a little splattering. I says, so she gets huffy. She comes out from behind the counter and comes over. And she's standing there beside it. You have to pump it. I got it the first time. So I said, like this, am I not doing it right? I knew. I mean, how hard is it to do it? I mean, it's a pump, okay? I know how to pump. And I said, nothing. And before she got over there, I took a little peek inside the container and it was empty. And I said to her, I looked inside, it's empty. Well, she takes the top and she yanks it off. And inside there's a plastic bag that I guess holds the ketchup, and it fits over an attachment on it, and that's how they do it. Well, the bag was there, but the bag was empty. And she says, well, use the other one. I said, I already did that. I told you that. I pumped it. She goes over to it and opens it up, and it's completely empty. There's not even a plastic bag in it or anything with it. And I said, do you have any ketchup in the little packages? She didn't say a thing to me, nothing. She marches back behind the counter and she grabs this blue bin of ketchup packages and she bangs it down on the counter. Says nothing. So I reached in and grabbed a couple of packs of ketchup. And I thought, wow, customer service not. So you know how when you get your receipt, there's oftentimes on the back of it or something, they go, hey, tell us how we did today. Fill out our survey and you'll get a prize or something, like that or whatever, or be entered in a contest. So I thought, okay, I'll fill that out. So when I got home, I went online, and I'll have to say one thing for Wendy's survey, it's pretty extensive. It's not just a couple of words. And when it comes to the customer service person, they have this list of things. Did they say please and thank you? Did they greet you when you first arrived? Did they get your order accurate? Did they make eye contact? Did they smile? Were they pleasant and courteous? All this in the line there. Well, I was checking. No. And then there was a spot after a few more questions where I could write, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? So I did. I told them what I just told you. And then it said, would you like someone to contact you? If so, can you put in your email address? And I did with that. But then I figured, okay, right. I'll never hear anything from them, this. But I don't let things go. So I went and looked online to see if I could find customer service, like where you'd put in a complaint. I found a spot. And so I filled that all out with it. Well, Wendy's did contact me later that day via email and said, we're so sorry you had this experience, blah, blah, blah. We have taken your complaint and we have redirected it to the restaurant you were at, because you had to put in a number for the restaurant, which was on the invoice, so they knew where it was located. And our service team will be looking into this matter. Well, in my way of thinking, yeah, really, this is pretty much a cut and paste response, right? So I didn't let it go. So I wrote back and went, well, thank you for your response. But, quite frankly, it seems to me that this is a cut and paste response, which means you probably won't do anything, and I'll probably never hear of anything that you did do in the future. And then I thought I'd just add a little bit of more to it, and I put, and it would be nice to discuss some form of compensation for this, because I do feel I was a victim of ageism. I was treated like I was an old man who didn't know how to do anything, and I didn't really appreciate that. Now I figured that'll fall on deaf ears. It did not. They wrote back to me and said that this had already gone to the service team at the actual restaurant. The employee would be, for lack of better words, they didn't use this word, but would be dealt with, kind of a thing. I don't know, cut off her head. That would do it for me. And in the meantime, they are sending me some courtesy cards, which I don't know how much those will be for or what they do, or is it going to be one of those buy one drink, get the second one for half price kind of a thing, or whatever. I don't know. But at least I'll say this for them. They responded to me. They didn't let it go. And I hope someone does readjust her attitude, because she'll also, it was very embarrassing because there were people sitting there at the time when she was doing all this, looking at me like, and they were.
Yeah, it was uncalled for, the kind of thing. Like, I mean, if you're working in that kind of industry, yeah, it's not the best kind of job in the world. But I mean, if somebody says the ketchup things are empty, you just sort of say, okay, fine, we'll look at them and give you some ketchup, right? And then go back and look at them at your leisure type of thing, right? But no, she just stomped over there and she was really indignant, right? In front of to a point where I thought, what the hell is she doing?
Well, she was making me feel like I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I was not rude to her.
Like, in other words, stupid old man.
Yeah. I was not rude to her at all. I said, I'm sorry. I actually said to her, I took the blame on myself at one point and said, am I doing this incorrectly? Is what I said. And she was maybe she was having a bad day, but that's too bad.
I mean, you can have a bad day.
Leave your bad day at home.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with customers in customer service, you leave whatever personal problems you have, you leave those at home.
And obviously whoever was supposed to fill up the ketchup containers obviously didn't.
Yeah. And maybe she was the one that was supposed to do it. Who knows? Maybe that's why she was so upset, because she felt that she had to go on the offensive, because maybe I was going to make a big complaint that you hadn't filled in your things and it was her job. I don't know. She didn't say anything. She talked very little. It was the look on her face and her attitude about, well, you have to pump it. Yeah, I have to pump it. So I'm just backing up here to see what people are talking about. I've read those ones. Oh, Catherine Langford. I unfortunately was one of those rude people. I'm sorry to plan to send out email today. I want to participate. I was very upset I was unable to. Okay, Catherine, you've said some other things here. I'm not going to deal with this online in a public forum. If you wish to communicate with me via email, I am all ears. Not a problem for that. Barb says, in my city, Calgary, you have to pay 15 cents if you want to beg from fast food restaurants. Now citizens are signing petitions to get rid of the mayor. Well,
I don't know how that would work here because if you do an online order
Yeah.
here, they actually double bag it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to say though, it's Subway, you know, the submarine, the sandwich shop. They now, if you want a bag to put your like they wrap it all up, right, and put a like a seal it and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But if you want a bag to carry it out with, they charge you. I don't know if it's 5 cents or 15 cents, one or the other. Probably more like 15 cents. But they will charge you for the bag. Now they just
Okay, I
started
didn't
that.
notice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I last time I got one, I just
Well, you paid for it.
no, I didn't get a bag.
Oh.
They just gave me the sandwich.
Yeah, well, I just get the sandwich. I don't, but they
Yeah.
ask if you want a bag, and then they tell you it's going to cost you
Uh,
5, 10 cents, 15 cents, something like that. I don't really have a problem necessarily with that, except with something like a Subway sandwich. Like those are, I mean, they have them pretty well wrapped up, but they're a little awkward to carry, you know, if you're going someplace with it.
that doesn't bother me so much, but the like, I mean, if you get a hamburger and fries or something, half the time your fries are all over the place in the bag.
Yeah. Well, the other
So-
thing is to, okay, so it's all about the environment, right? And supposedly, but is it really? Or is this just another money grab, a tax,
Well, I
per
think
se?
Barb said once before on here that part of that 15-cent thing was based on the city imposing.
Yeah, that's right. She did say that, which I don't think at the Subway shop here that it is something that's been posed by our city. I think that's the restaurant
that
itself.
may have to do with that disposable bag.
Yeah, all that. So I don't know. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. And Loane says, oh, the horror of a fast food worker having to work. Oh my, yeah, true. Trace says, did they have a none of the above choice? Nope, not really. But you could check off as many things as you wanted on there, and I did. I would have asked her, Barb says, for a name and told her I would put it in a complaint. Well, guess what? Her name was on the invoice because I think that's they do that because because she was also running the cash, right? So
We didn't go to the kiosk and order it.
No.
We ended up there was nobody at the counter, so we just went
to the counter. Yeah. So, and I did put her name in my complaints as well from the invoice. So yeah. Neva Ricci is here. Richie. Hi, Steve Muller. I'm a cross stitcher. Oh, does that mean you're angry all the time? I didn't quilt, but I love watching y'all. I'm in Sanger, Texas, spending Sunday time with you today. Well, that's nice of you to come, Nava. I'm glad you're here. Stephanie says she made a big deal out of a small problem. Glad you called her on it. Well, yeah. You know, it was an easy thing for her to fix up. All she needed to do was put her little thing of ketchup up and say, well, there's some ketchup here. Help yourself. She didn't have to come from behind the counter, go over, and give me that
obviously
attitude.
there was no lineup, so
Yeah.
she didn't. She had enough time to go around the counter and look at it, and she was like in a very huffy manner. So like it was like, and it's like she was doing you a favor type of thing.
Yeah, it was. Russ says if someone came to me saying the ketchup was empty, I would say, did you try rebooting it?
Yeah.
And that's why you don't work in fast food anymore, Russ. Luane says, I got to meet Dave Thomas, the founder, way back in 81 at a young entrepreneurs convention. He would not have stood for this. Probably not, but times have changed, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
people don't seem to value their job anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, fast food, okay, you work in fast food doesn't mean that you need to give bad service.
No.
Just because
But having said that, I was thinking that we have mentioned before that while we were down in the States in Georgia, how we found that every place we went to, the service people were just wonderful. They were friendly. They were attentive to your needs. They'd help you out. In Canada, we don't get that all the time. Now you get some, they'll be fine. But I think there are more cases of in Canada where they give you attitude than what you get in the States. So there you
Like,
go.
I mean, there are times that you'll go into a fast food place here, and two of the employees are standing there talking away to each other and just ignoring you.
Yeah, and you're standing there
But
waiting to put in your order, and it's like they can see through you. I'm sorry, am I wearing camouflage?
and they're talking about, what they're doing later on tonight type of thing, and I'm going, well, okay, would it be a problem if you came over and helped me out?
Yeah. Karen says, it does not matter what industry you're in. It takes less effort to just be kind. I had this type of issue with my Honda dealer, and I was surprised when Honda actually dealt with them. Oh, well, we can tell you stories about Honda, but we're not going to get into that because we know what you're talking about. Just click on that. That went up there.
So I have to admit, the last time I have a Honda and the last time I was in Honda has been a little better. So,
oh, Louise says the grocery store cashier seems miffed when you tell them you've brought your own bags.
well, not in this
Not
country.
here. You have to bring your own bags.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
There's no choice. There's no choice.
Like if you go to Walmart here without a bag,
you're screwed.
You're screwed because
yeah,
they don't have any bags. The only bags they have are the ones that you can buy.
Like the ones that are the more cloth based bags. Yeah. Polyester, not the plastic or anything like that, and they usually cost about $1, $2 for one of those bags with it. So and we're infamous for, we have a car full of bags, and we walk into someplace and forget to take the bags in with us.
Yeah, I know. And then you're screwed.
Yeah, maybe you can't cheat in a
liquor store is just as bad. Liquor store is now, if you don't they used to have bags up until a month or so ago, and now if you go in, they don't have any bags. The only bags they have are gift bags.
Yeah. And if even at our local quilt store now, you have to bring a bag in with you. However, if you've got a lot of things you bought, they'll ask you if you want a bag and they don't charge you.
There's a ban for single-use plastic. And if they give you a bag, it has to be a paper bag. So
yeah. Well, they're not doing that at Ultimate Sewing. There's still plastic in there, but
it must have some leftovers.
Yeah, but I'm training myself when I go into the quilt store to make sure I take in a bag with me as well. I mean, actually, no, I'm a supporter of it. It is good for the environment and everything like that. It's just going to take some time. And actually, this isn't something new here either. We've been doing this at least in the grocery stores for several years now, but now it's spread to almost everything. With it. Pat says, thanks for yesterday. I got a lot done. Enjoyed the day. You are welcome, Pat. Barb says, sorry, Pat. Sorry you didn't win a gift certificate. Well, I can't play favorites on this kind of thing. You saw it was a big wheel. Everybody's name was on it. And, yeah. Tracy says, just take out your phone and start recording them. Amazing how their attitude would change towards you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, actually, I don't automatically remember to do that.
No.
And you're right. After it occurred, I had thought to myself I should have recorded it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think of doing that either. I know the phones come out all the time. I have to say, though, I feel also a little bit, I would feel a little bit... I don't know, weird about doing that. But then again, if they're treating me like an a-hole, then maybe I should. I don't know. Charlotte says it would have been so much better if she had simply said, I'm sorry, and handed you those ketchup packets. Yeah, because now she's got herself into trouble. I don't know whether it will go to fruition and someone in her restaurant area or whatever they call those places will speak to her about the issue. She'll probably, if they do, she'll probably have every excuse in the book, and because nobody else really witnessed it that was working there that I could see, she probably will say, no, I was being belligerent to her and all of this kind of stuff. And who are they going to believe? A customer that's not there, or their employee, whatever. So I don't think much will come of
No, I
it.
don't think much come out. She'll probably say that it was the customer that was
Yeah,
causing the problem.
but you know, it made me feel like I took a or not proactive, that I took an active part in. I didn't just let her step all over me.
Either that, or they may have said because she was not of our, because she was
She might have called the racist card
yeah.
on it. This is what Walter's trying to say delicately. She's a brown. Okay. That area of Oshawa that's up there, we have a lot of new immigrants from India primarily that live in that area. It's very concentrated to the point where we almost need to call it Little India now. And I've got nothing against that
No, I
at
mean,
all.
I'm fine with anybody like that. I'm a fine with everybody, all nationalities. But there was no recall for her to treat us
No.
that way. So
And it had nothing to do with racism.
no,
It had everything to do with ageism as far as I was concerned, and that she was just a belligerent individual with it. Like I said, maybe she was having a bad day, but don't
and
take
you
your
know
bad
it's
day out
funny
on me.
because in that particular location, normally I go through the drive-through in that one, and usually the people in the drive-through are more than courteous there.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe she was new to the job. I don't know. I still suspect that maybe part of her job was to make sure those things were filled up, and she neglected that. And she was, like I said, going on the offensive.
Yeah, because I would imagine those things don't have to be filled up too often.
No, well, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. Um, Grant's here. Hi, Grant. Fast food is largest sector of hospitality industry, not just slinging food. She needs to read the definition of hospitality in the dictionary. Yeah, I don't think she would bother. Dara's here. Hi, Dara. Couldn't make the celebration yesterday. I was invited out for my birthday previous week, but also son made curry, and I wouldn't bring fabric out when he does that. Congrats. Well, you didn't sign up for it anyways, Dara, so not a problem at all. Marianne says she has reusable booze bags. They have sleeves all around the inside perimeter to keep your body separate and upright. Well, you're a professional. No flies on you. Luann says, I love when I go to Safeway and use the self-checkout and it asks, how many Safeway bags did you use? And I click the big fat 0. Yep. Well, we don't buy any, and I always hit the 0 too with that. I've often wondered, though, okay, if you took 3 bags and you put in, I took none or 1, how would they know? Now, at Walmart, they do have people monitoring the kiosks like hawks. Because I think they've had some problems, a lot of problems. People have been basically not scanning every one of their items in, and I could see that happening. But, Russ says, you think she might get defensive, but most restaurants have cameras and can see what happened. That is true, Russ. I
never thought of that.
No, I never thought of that either. So what the camera would show is this old fart going up to a ketchup thing going, come on, ketchup, ketchup. Ketchup not working. Over the other one. Ketchup not. Excuse me, but your ketchup's empty. Blah. No, not quite that bad. Barb says they have the ability to look at their security cameras.
Yeah, actually, I never saw that.
I never thought of that. No. Well, if they check those security cameras, they're going to see the one. I was not belligerent to her. I didn't call her whatever or anything. I just simply said to her, the only thing that might have been a little derogatory in my tone was when I said, I think I know how to pump ketchup, is what I said, because she was treating me like I was 5.
Yeah, actually, Karen says, do you get a bag if you go for the drive-through? As far as fast food is concerned in our area, you get a bag whether you go through drive-through or you go into the restaurant and pick it up. If it's like burger and fries, except for Subway.
Yeah.
So, but Barb's saying in her area in Calgary, in the western area of Canada, that they have put a ban in for bags or something like that. So
Yeah. And it seems like it's been done by the city council as opposed to the provincial government.
With us in our area, or not a ban in that, they're charging for bags basically.
Yeah.
In our area, they're not charging for bags. So
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that was an interesting week and interesting little situation. I have thought if we ever walked into that one again and I saw her again, I said, "Hi, you remember me?" But I don't think I remember what she looked like. She was shortish, plumpish, East Indian background, and miserable. So I don't know. So, anyways, so today's big Super Bowl day, and you know how much we enjoy the game of football. We're just going to be glued to that TV, not with that. But this made me think of a couple of things. First of all, somebody's already mentioned it, that 18 minutes of game and 60 minutes of commercials and everything else. Yeah, because why? The Super Bowl, I think everybody realizes this. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. Generates a whole lot of revenue, millions of dollars, not just from the advertising. I think I heard that a 30-second ad or something was something like 25 or $35,000, or might have been more than that, for that. So who's getting that money? You know, that money's going to the corporations that sponsor this.
For the networks that are broadcasting it.
Well, probably with them too. Of course, it's in Las Vegas as well. Now, you'd have to fill me in. Is one of the teams actually their home turf, Las Vegas? Because you can bet that Las Vegas is loving it, because the casinos and everything, because I'm sure there's betting going on for the Super Bowl as well. So that generates money. Then, of course, there's the ticket money. I heard that tickets were upwards to...
It says a 30-second commercial spot during the Super Bowl was reportedly $7 million.
$7 million? Oh, I was a little underneath that, wasn't I? Holy crap. $7 million. Jeez. That's... Wow. That's unfathomable. So I wonder if in Las Vegas, well, not wonder, I know they probably are, because you can bet on anything in Las Vegas. So that's probably bringing in a lot of money with the gamblers. But tickets are...
The cheapest ticket for a Super Bowl 2024 is $5,470.
And that's probably a nosebleed seat.
Yeah, it says it's row 8. It's seat section 325, row 8.
Okay, so... If you want something right down on, I don't know, what's a good seat in a football game? Down on the field or something? I don't know. See how little I know about football? I heard that people were paying up to $10,000 for a ticket.
Well, which would be, if the cheapest seat is $5,470.
I guess, yeah.
Then I would imagine the regular tickets are much more than that.
And we heard on something we were watching on YouTube last night that there was one guy or something who mortgaged his house to buy a Super Bowl ticket.
Well,
why?
That's crazy.
Like, that's nuts. That's just nuts. Okay. I mean, all right. If you enjoy watching football, if you enjoy the game, I mean, I don't understand where the joy is, but that's me. I'm sure the same person who enjoys football would not necessarily understand why I enjoy quilting retreats. Okay. So, although I don't pay $10,000 for it.
From an insider with networks, I can tell you that most of the ad revenue for the Superb Owl doesn't go to the networks.
Where are you reading this?
Quilt Meets World.
Oh, Russ?
Yeah.
From the service networks, I can tell you that most of the ad revenue for the Superb Owl doesn't go to the networks.
Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Russ, I wish you'd stop doing that. You change everything around. That was funny, though. Yeah, okay, like Luann says, they've got to pay those million football players' salaries. Yeah, and here's the other thing that really pisses me off, not just about football, but about any form of professional organized sports. The salaries of those players and how people treat those players. They look at them as gods and as heroes. I'm sorry, but if you're making $2-3 million or more a year because you're playing a sport you're good at, it is still a game, and you're getting all that kind of money. You are not worthy of being called a hero or being worshipped as a hero. You have not cured world hunger. You have not found a cure for cancer. There goes the fingers again. You have not solved the climate crisis or anything like that. The people that do those kind of things, that are working towards those kind of things, they are heroes. And they're not making $2, $3, $4 plus $1 million a year for doing that kind of thing at all. People who are, protecting their countries in the military, things like that, they deserve the term more hero because they're putting their life on the line for other people. But football players aren't putting their life on the line for anybody. Well, yeah, they might get beat up a little bit, but that's too bad. That's the nature of the sport, I guess, especially football. But no. So why is it that people idolize them and put them on pedestals? That is ludicrous. Completely ludicrous. And no one's going to convince me that those athletes deserve and have earned that kind of money. I mean, there's no way. I mean, we have doctors and we have lawyers and we have teachers and we have nurses and we that don't make anything near that.
What about the CEOs of corporations?
Well, they don't deserve it either. But CEOs of corporations don't get hero worship.
That's true.
Either. Athletes
Same
do.
with people that are stars.
Celebrities.
Celebrities.
Like who make a movie. Like Taylor Swift, for example. Oh, Taylor's you can bet she's got a great seat. And you can also bet that she probably didn't pay for that seat. Her boyfriend's on the team. Like I said, dumb blonde with someone who hasn't been out of the trees for very long. Kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm hurting the Taylor Swift fans out there, but it's the only fan of a Swiffer I am is the one that cleans my floor. The solution, the mop, I use it all the time. Yeah, I love it. Of course, if you turn Taylor Swift upside down with that hair, dumped her in a bucket, she'd probably do floors too. Yeah. I know where I could stick the handle. Just saying. What are people saying here? Will Taylor be back from Tokyo in time to be at the Super Bowl? Oh, who knows? She can go on her private jet. It's not a problem. Their jets, they get you there and back in no time at all. No, Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers. Okay, so neither one call Las Vegas their hometown. And yet it's in Las Vegas. Why?
Well,
it's got money.
The corporation has set it there, so.
I guess. Diana Miller says, I worked for NBC. Advertising revenue always went to the network. Okay, so there we go. We have authority on that. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Of course it does. Oops. Things are going by real fast here. Loane saw a news story that said on something there is only 18 minutes of actual... Yeah, that we were talking about that before. Oh. Russ says that the term that I replaced super owl for its copyright. I'm not saying that word.
Well, who's going to know who you are?
Yeah, really. I'm going to say it. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. I think I said Super Bowl at one point. Never mind. That's a different topic. Patsy says, I feel the same way about movie stars. Why are suddenly experts on stuff? Yeah, I know. So big deal. Her main
I don't understand my nephew too and stuff like that. They have what do you call it? I forget what they call it now. A movie fest in Toronto.
Oh, the TIFF.
The TIFF.
Toronto
International Film Festival. People line up to watch the movie stars walk into their movies, and that my nephew's one of them. And they all get all fluffed up because they saw a movie star.
Yeah, and
they're just people.
Yeah, and Patsy makes a really good point. She says, I have students who, or Michelle said, I have students who think they are going to be some big sports star like the pros, and they get mad at me when I tell them that they need an alternate plan for their life. Exactly. I had students too who were on the football team. They were, man about campus, whatever, the big football star, and they were as stupid as all get out as well. Again, their knuckles dragged, and they thought they were going to go to university and then get on the get a scholarship in this, and they were going to make millions of dollars, and they were going to be superstars. And this was either football or basketball or hockey, all these things. And I used to say to him, yeah, well, that'll be nice if that works out for you, but have you got a backup plan? Because that only happens to a very small few. It's competitive. You might want to get your education and have something else to fall back on if that doesn't work out. But no, they were all going to be superstars with it. And then there were the ones too, not just in the sporting things, but the ones who thought they were going to break out into the movie industry and they're going to be great, celebrities. They were going to make, they're going to be great actors. Yeah, well, you told me that story about not handing your paper. That wasn't really a good act. I could see right through it.
There's lots and lots and lots and lots of actors that don't get paid very much money.
Yeah, that's true. Karen says, I love college football, but agree with you, get paid way too much. Yeah. Andy says, CEO get hero worship within their specific industry, really prevalent in the financial service sector. Yeah, within their own. But this is something that I figured out when I retired too. Once you retire from a job, no matter what level you were at or what you did, no one cares. And in fact, you're only important, as you've just said, in your own industry, because you don't impress me much with that you were such and such here and there. I don't know. I didn't work in that. You didn't have any effect on my life.
Past president of that corporation.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I have a friend who's a principal, and she basically doesn't speak to us anymore because
she's a principal.
She's a principal. I never made it to principal, and I'm retired now, so I'm an old fart, and I'm pretty much useless. Maybe she'd do well in the fast food industry then, as well. So that's just the way they are. Taylor is sitting in a box at the game. Of course she is. G says they don't. That's why I don't watch any sports. I don't go to concerts because they're not worth the money for the tickets. And I agree with you completely on that one, Judy. I find concerts, the very few I've ever been to in my life, and I can count them on one hand, minus several fingers, I find them boring. Plus, I am not paying that money to get down close with them. But people are mesmerized by celebrities. They want to be in their presence. Maybe they think if they're acknowledged by a celebrity, it's kind of like God descending from heaven and blessing you. I don't know. It's crazy. The hero worship people have, misdirected hero worship is what that is. Because again, I don't know of any celebrities that have found a cure for cancer yet, or world hunger, or climate change. They might do some things towards that, but
not all celebrities make tons and tons of money.
No.
Some really top ones do,
and a lot of them just squander it away.
And if they're smart, their $4 million or whatever movie that they've made, they should hang on to that money. Because their next movie might not appear.
Yeah. Marilyn says David Letterman said that Taylor and her football boyfriend are going to get married at halftime. Joke, of course, but kind of funny. Well,
anything for...
And that would just put her over the top even higher than her popularity is right now. Deb says, drove me crazy listening to other hockey moms, dads thinking their kids were NHL material. Oh, the parents are the worst at those games. And I had parents that would come into me and say, well, they can't hand in their essay because they're in a big game on the weekend and won't have time to do it. And I would say, well, they need to find time. They've known about this deadline. So the late penalty is in effect. Well, actually, I would say to them, that's no problem. They can hand it in a day late. They will lose 10%. Well, that's not fair. Yeah, it is. They've known about it for quite so well. It should have been done even before the big game come. It's called planning. They didn't like me, and they'd go to the principal and complain. And luckily, I had a good principal who turned around and said, "Nope, those are the rules. We have a standard policy. It's in the guidebook. The kids get it the first of the year. You might want to read it." Yeah. Pat says places bid a couple of years in advance to hold the Super Bowl. Oh, they have to bid for it. I didn't know that. Sounds like the Olympics. Oh, God. It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? Luane says, she already has a breakup song to go with her in the breakup. Yeah, probably. Deborah's here. She says, I agree 100% about salaries of professional sports, real athletes. Yeah. Sandy Serezin is here, and she says, I think if she did that too, she has done it to others. And the other employees have, oh, back to the, yeah, she may have. Who knows? Probably. Barb says, I went to school with a guy who ended up a player on the Calgary Stampeders NFL team. So, Barb, how does that make you feel? Does that bring joy to your life? And does it make you superior over other people because you went to school with him? Now, I am being facetious and nothing against you or anything, but this is what people think. When people drop names, name droppers. Oh, I saw Taylor Swift the other day. Well, I was across the street and about a mile away, but I heard she was in a restaurant that I walked by once. Yeah.
Well, I went to school with some woman that became a soap opera star, and she was a stuck-up bitch in high school, and she was a stuck-up bitch in adult.
But I mean, you hear people say this all the time. Well, does that make you better than me? Because of that or whatever. What is it that people are really saying?
Why is this important?
It's the glow of celebrity. I mean, people want to be associated with people that other people know a lot about, or who are supposedly above us and the whole bit, as if we can rise to that level, if there's a level to be risen to. I don't think there's a level to be risen to at that. No, they don't impress me much with it. So too bad. They're basically just people. And in fact, the whole aura around athletes and celebrities and the whole bit, they didn't really create that. That was created for them by the people who, for whatever reason, and for lack of a better word, admire them. They've created the mythology around these individuals. Those individuals didn't necessarily create it directly with it. So, I don't know. Don't impress me much. Julie says, the Green Bay Packers put our city on the international map. A small city like ours benefits economically. Also, when the team wins, cases of domestic abuse go down for the week. I don't believe any of that, Julie. I'm sorry. That's an urban legend. Both those things that you're saying. No. Green Bay Packers did not put your city on the map. Everybody knew where Green Bay was before. Okay? And they probably had other things. And pretty sad little town then if the only thing they have to their fame is a football team. Because what about all the other things I'm sure that city has going forward as well? And team wins, case of domestic abuse go down for the week. There's so many things wrong with that sentence. I don't know where to start with that kind of a thing. I mean, if domestic abuse goes down for the week, then shouldn't we have this every week to put it down? Is that a cure? I don't think it is. And on top of it all, we're talking about domestic abuse. Why? If so, when the team loses, then the corollary to that is that abuse goes up. Some sick people in society with that kind of thing. Andy says, John Thompson, basketball coach at Georgetown University, wouldn't let kids play if they didn't keep up their grades. Smart man. I wish the phys ed teachers and the coaches in my high school were the same way. I used to have to fight with them. They would come to me and say, oh, such and such, we need them in the first line for basketball or whatever it's called, kind of a thing. Can you give them an extension on their work? Or, we've got a rule here that a kid can't be on a team if they don't have a 72% average or 75% average or something like that. That's probably a little high. Ring, there's a motion at the front door.
Yeah, probably my package arrived.
Oh, yeah, it did. Anyways, kind of a thing. And I'd go, no, I will not. They didn't earn the mark for this discipline. So, yeah. They knew better than to come to me. They'd sometimes try to go circumvent me too and go to the administration. And that was when it was good to be the head of the English department, because the person who has the majority of the power in a school hierarchy is the English department head. Why? Because English is a mandatory subject. Whereas most of the other subjects, with the exception of math, in our system, are not mandatory. So, yeah, there's a lot of power. And we see every kid in the school at some point in time, as well as English teachers, too. So, yeah, I did enjoy the power. I did. I'll admit to that. Diana says, don't impress me much, huh? Stephen, that is one of Taylor's hit songs. I thought that was Shania Twain. That's the one I was thinking of. Taylor Swift may have done it too.
Hey, what's interesting about the Green Bay Packers is I didn't realize they came from Green Bay. I thought it was some other place. So it just shows you how much I know.
Yeah. I'm just catching up here. Yeah, Julie says, Diameter, wasn't that a Shania Twain hit? And Michelle says, yeah, I have students that tell me that their grade in art shouldn't affect their playing time in sports, but I look at them and say, sorry, but the sports aren't everything. Yep, that's right. Pat's watching the Puppy Bowl because it makes her happy. Both Twain and Swift recorded the song. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, I think Twain's is the better version of it. Russ says, wait, I can't name drop? I went to a retreat with Stephen and Walter. And do you feel
we went
more superior now because of it? We went with Russ. I know how I feel about that. Notice I didn't finish it. Oh, yeah. I went to school with him from kindergarten, grade 12. We were just friends. I was proud of him for his accomplishments. I was just happy to know him because he was a decent guy. Well, that's okay. What I'm saying is people who name drop in order to impress other people. Doesn't impress me much. Pat says, I also adore Taylor Swift. When she is interviewed, she seems like a young woman who would sit down with me and we could have a fun conversation. Yeah, I don't think so, Pat. Pat, she has done a lot of damage to the LGBT community, trying to pretend that she is 100% ally with them. Don't get me started on Taylor Swift. Oh, Luann. Now, Luann actually saw a real celebrity. He saw Jenny Doan at QuiltCon 2022. Does that count? Well, yes, that it does. Okay, yeah. Because she's a quilting star. I have some pattern sewers and traditional quilters say they are going to QuiltCon. Is that a showcase for modern work? Is it for folks in the business? Actually, Stephanie can answer that better than I can because I've never been, but Stephanie's going, and so Shannon as well, and Russ are all going. And yes, the police will tell you that domestic abuse cases do go down. Yes, abuse goes up when fans are angry about the outcome of their game and take it out of their family. I think that's just sad, Julie. Yeah. So Louine is answering that question. If you ever had to work with a celebrity who believes their popularity at the expense of others, you'll never see a celebrity in the same light again. Yep, that's probably very true, Dara. I'm skipping her. Yeah, that may be true, Andy. Well, I'm sure it is true. But you want to know something? Here we go. We're all putting importance on sports teams as if they can bring all this stuff to everybody and do good. If they solve world hunger, homelessness, and cancer, they will have my total support. I will become a football, basketball, baseball, golf fan. I will. I can tell you that. I have my priorities. So yeah, Stephanie's answered Pat's question about the QuiltCon. Well, anyways, if you're going to be watching the game, enjoy. I won't be. The only thing that I might watch is later on YouTube at some point when they rebroadcast the $7 million commercials, just to see what $7 million buys. But I won't be following the football game at all with all of that. So I'll probably be planning my strategy for killing Wendy's employees. Well, not really, but whatever. Okay, so thanks guys for joining us today and everything. We wouldn't do this if we didn't have you, as you know. And keep in mind the different things that are coming up in the next little while for your entertainment, as well as possibly information too. So I hope everybody has a really great week, and we'll see you this time next week, if not sooner. Bye for now. Safe.